proud mobsters out there. Your least favorite uncles from the Chicagoland area are back at it tonight. I am Tom Hardy, and that's my good mate over there.
And I'm Henry Hill. What is going on out, everybody? We are back once again. This time we are talking TV and a show that we both recently binged. It's streaming on Paramount Plus with Showtime. Obviously, we're big fans of Paramount Plus and all the original shows that they've put out recently. A lot of the Taylor Sheridan shows, of course. This one, MobLand, with Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, and Helen Mirren. And don't forget Patty Considine. So let's talk about season one of MobLand.
Power is a hungry thing, and there's always a rat bastard looking to take what's mine.
What is this, a Taliban?
Oh no, when combat gets going, I mean not really going. You're gonna wish you was.
That's right. These two rascals are back at it. Of course, we're back with another Paramount Plus show. We love that network. Basically reviewed like every Sheridan TV show out there and just having a great time with all the original programs on that streaming platform network. Of course, we're back with the new kind of Guy Ritchie meets Gangs of London series called MobLand, starring Tom Hardy. Huge fan of his. Me and you've been following his career damn near 20 years at this point. This guy can play any different role. In this one, he is basically the fixer for this powerful family, the Harrigans. His name's Harry in the TV show, and he goes in and basically fixes all their messes because they're rich and powerful. And the series has to do with the mob, two very powerful families going at it, the conflict there, and trying to fix this huge mess. But it's led by Conrad, played by one of my favorite actors, Pierce Brosnan. But he plays the head of this family, old Irish mean guy. He can be suave and sophisticated and just like snap like that. Of course, his wife in the series, Maeve, played by the great Helen Mirren. She was fantastic in 1923 that we reviewed not too long ago, also on Paramount Plus. But she plays Maeve, the wife of this powerful family, and it really sets up this kind of huge ordeal between the two powerful families in London.
Right up our alley. Big fans of Gangs of London. We reviewed those seasons and that show. And this is in that same vein, definitely. I think I'd give the edge to Gangs of London, just quality wise and acting wise. But this one has the star power, of course. Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren, Patty Considine, a great cast for sure. And, a pretty decent written show. This rival families here with history going on between the families and all the drama that's happening and the power plays that are going on behind the scenes. Very familiar story to us. We've seen this before. It's not exactly like cutting any new ground here, forging any new territory in the mob genre, but definitely with Tom Hardy in the lead. This is a role that's made for him. Playing this fixer, he gets to go out and does what do what he does best all the time. Be the tough guy that cracks skulls if you cross him and the family he works for. And the family he works for in this one, Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren playing the Harrigans, Conrad and Maeve.
Maeve.
And out of the two of them, Helen Mirren's definitely the boss. Like she's running the show. Pierce Brosnan thinks he is on the surface, but definitely the character development and just the way that they play the characters. Helen Mirren's the real boss of this family. She's pulling the strings. She's talking behind Conrad's back and, formulating up the plans and, kind of, going over the head of Conrad because Conrad's, so self-absorbed and in his own world and thinks he's so high and powerful, but really it's Maeve. And you have Pierce Brosnan here playing Conrad with just a horrible Irish accent. It's bad. It's really bad.
It is really bad, and you're absolutely right here. This is a Helen Mirren show for sure, playing Maeve. She runs the family, like you're saying, she's pulling the strings. Pierce Brosnan's Conrad is very arrogant, like he always is, playing himself here. full of himself, stuck in his ways, but Maeve is really behind the scenes running everything. And how this series kind of starts off, one of the Harrigans, like the grandkids, is going on a bender at some club and some altercation, person gets stabbed, and it sets up the rest of the season. Really, the two conflicting families here. The other one, Richie Stevenson, played by Jeff Bell, he's like the enemy kingpin, essentially. He looked like Freddy Krueger. I've seen him before in other stuff. He's like always a
Yeah.
bad guy, but yeah, he's kind of the villain in this series. So it's the two families going, after one another, killing them, and some really excellent like kill scenes. Some people get knocked off, and really awesome setup, and putting a lot of stress on old Harry behind me, Tom Hardy. He's going in, he's dealing with some marital issues. He's kind of distant from
Hmm.
his daughter because he's always working, fixing all these messed up situations that the Harrigans get him into. So he's very distant from his family, marriage problems, and the actress played his wife. I thought she was really good in this.
Yeah, I liked his relationship with his family too. Jan Da Souza, and then Harry, played by Tom Hardy, and then the daughter. A very interesting relationship. Strained, obviously, and going through things. And, she's been married to Harry long enough where she knows that, like, all his promises, are a lot of the times become hollow and empty. There's kind of empty promises, but you can also tell that they really do love each other. But like, Harry is constantly dealing with life or death situations and trying to keep his, basically his employers alive the whole time, and always some stressful situation. It looks like he hasn't slept throughout the whole series. He's constantly dealing with something. A
Yeah,
tough gig here for him, but Tom Hardy was born for that. He's just a tough guy, tough as nails. And those scenes with his family really do show that he has a heart too. But he's willing to die for his line of work and for his family. So he's kind of torn in between the two worlds, which is an interesting dynamic. And then, yeah, the villain, like you mentioned, really liked him. He was a good villain for sure. He definitely had that, Freddy look, the, snarling, like looking for revenge no matter what. And it made some really cool scenes of revenge that happened throughout the series. Really cool. Uh, Kevin Harrigan, played by Paddy Considine, had his whole, separate arc for his story. When he was younger, he knew Harry when they were younger, and Kevin Harrigan, Paddy Considine's character, when he was a kid, ended up getting, sexually assaulted and raped by I think he was, what was he, like a prison guard or some
yeah,
sort
something like
of
that.
authority figure like that. And later on in life, that's messed him up, leading into his adulthood, and he finds the guy, and that leads into him with his own story and trying to resolve that trauma that he went through and confront the guy, and it leads to some memorable scenes there. So some really cool stories and arcs throughout the series. A lot of cool kills, like you'd expect in a mob series. Some really hard hitting scenes involving these powerhouse actors. Seeing Hardy and Paddy Considine together, their scenes were awesome. And then, even though we don't really like Pierce Brosnan, he had some cool scenes with Helen Mirren playing the couple. A lot of cool dialogue back and forth, trying to establish their relationship too. And overall, a pretty damn good first season of MobLand. We're getting to know these characters, and by the end, I think we have a pretty good idea. And then where things end up at the end of the season, it leaves me wanting to see what happens from here with the character going to prison, and somebody's out of prison, so they're kind of going to take control of the family.
First season was pretty good, pretty enjoyable across the board. Thought the script was good, the directing, set design was cool. The city or the countryside where the Harrigans live, loved it. Very relaxing and calm in this like whole different world compared to the city of London. So I really like that. Some really great performances here: Paddy Considine, Tom Hardy, Helen Mirren being my favorites, the best performances in the season. I liked how the two dueling families and how that all kind of turns out for them. It was really well done, really great villain in this season. But I also felt at the same time this is real familiar. I've seen this before in a Guy Ritchie movie or like Gangs of London, but my
Hmm.
thoughts might be different if I never saw Gangs of London. But if comparing the two, I think that series is pretty damn perfect. Stakes are really high, really fast paced, great action, where this is kind of slower at times. But yeah, I did have a good time with this. Paramount Plus puts out great original content. I liked where this all ended, and I'm interested to see what happens in the upcoming season, what they do with all these characters. But enjoyable watch. So that being said, I'm gonna give MobLand streaming on Paramount Plus. I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5. Tom Hardy hair pieces. Where Gangs of London is a perfect 5 out of 5.
Yes, I agree with you. I'm giving it the same exact score. Pretty damn good start to the series. It's definitely not as good as Gangs of London. There's some room for growth here, and I want to see what happens next to these characters moving forward. And it was announced that it was renewed, so we will be definitely getting a second season. So that's awesome. So I can't wait to see. Hopefully, Paddy Considine gets an even bigger role. He was relegated to the kind of the background in this throughout most of the episodes. I'm hoping he is more front and center because that's what I would like to see moving forward. And of course, Helen Mirren, seeing her run the show is going to be really cool, seeing her moving forward. And then Tom Hardy, is he going to get to take a vacation maybe in season 2 with his family? And probably not. With that being said, I too am going to give MobLand season 1 a 3.5 out of 5. Pierce Brosnan, 007 hair pieces.
I knocked my score down just because of Pierce Brosnan. I don't like him, and I never will. But he was an unlikable character in the season. I will say that. But would have got a 4 if it was a different actor. So we're interested in hearing your guys' thoughts on MobLand season 1. What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? Did you like Gangs of London better? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, check out these wild uncles on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV, movie news, and reviews.
That is right. We have covered another Paramount Plus original series. This one, surprisingly, not from Taylor Sheridan, but we'll be back soon. I'm pretty sure the next one's probably going to be from Taylor Sheridan. I think it's Tulsa King season 3 is the next show on Paramount Plus to come back and return, and we'll be back to review that. They just released a new trailer today for that, so it'll be fun to see Samuel L. Jackson join the world of Tulsa King, and he's going to get his own spinoff, so that's pretty cool. The Nola King. Nolans. So yeah, we enjoyed MobLand. We're looking forward to season 2, and we can't wait to hear from you guys. Let us know what you think. Thank you for watching our review of MobLand season 1. And until the next season, I am Uncle Henry Brosnan.
Yeah, I'm sorry, so come until next time, it's so
Cheers.